Assalamu alaikum and greetings, viewers and subscribers. Today, our topic is Afghanistan. So, we're going to talk on that topic, and especially for the region, it has a lot of importance, and we'll talk on that one. Let me recap some of the questions which people have in their mind. Will Afghanistan and Pakistan go to war? Will a hostility to the Afghan Taliban, will India get involved? What will be the Pakistan's military strategy, both for Afghanistan and India? We will answer that too. Where is the red line for Pakistan? Is it still cross-border terrorism will not be tolerated? Well, we're going to talk about that too. And before we get into the details, let me actually give you a recap where we are. There was a Istanbul, a peace conference scheduled by the Qatar as well as Turkey. And what they had basically is they are the equal mediators between the Afghan Taliban and the Pakistani delegation. The personalities involved from Pakistan were not disclosed, but I think it must have been a very sensitive position, people who were participating. And from the Afghan side was a people who have been brought up and in Pakistan. Just excuse me for a second. There's a little bit of noise coming from outside. I'll close it. Sorry about that. Anyway, those talks went on for 3 days in Istanbul, and Pakistan had a single point agenda. And the single point agenda was no compromise from Islamabad. The message was no compromise on terrorism. And we presented specific proposals seeking verifiable measures to dismantle the TTP network and prevent cross-border attacks. Now, in this is not only Pakistan involved with the same issues, but all these states surrounding, including China, they are fed up. They don't want these guys coming around the place for whatever reasons the Afghan have. That's their own problem. But they all are fed up with this issue. Okay. The delegation, which was in Islamabad, was in Istanbul, they agreed with the Pakistanis and the Turks and the Qataris that yes, the TTP is there, and yes, we need to do all that. But when it came down to put it in writing, like they have given to Americans and other states, they refused to do that. And the Pakistanis suspected correctly that hesitancy was not coming from the delegation in Istanbul. It was coming from who they were getting approval in Kabul. And they believe that's where the Indian hand is coming in. There's a large belief in Pakistan that Afghans are again being treacherous, and they're taking money from the Hindu India, and they're doing that to shed Muslim blood. And that's not something which Pakistanis like very much. So anyway, these talks were going on. And I think before that, they were being pulverized by Pakistani airstrikes. So what has come out recently is this, that it was the Afghan Taliban who basically went to Turkey and Qatar and said, let's have dialogue and please have them stop and have a ceasefire. Now, publicly they'll all lie. It's the same with India. They begged Trump to get Pakistan to stop pulverizing them. Here, it was Trump saved their ass, the Indians. In this case, they were getting pulverized and they didn't want to get pulverized. So they basically asked Turkey and Qatar to do that. And of course, They were the brother bulk, and we respect them a lot. And we said, okay. Now, today, when Pakistani delegation had reached the airport, suddenly Turkey comes in and says, oh, wait a minute. Let's give us one more chance to the Afghan Taliban. That's very interesting. Now, when they've said, okay, and we've got the one-point agenda Pakistan has, that no more terrorism from there, says. It's a red line. Okay? And I would just say what Khwaja Asif, our defense minister, has said. No matter what the party is, the guy speaks plainly, and I really appreciate what he's saying. Defense Minister Khwaja issued a strong worded statement to the Taliban rulers in Kabul, said if they wish to test our resolve, they should do so at your own peril and doom. He said, we have borne your treachery and mockery for too long, but no more. Any terrorist attack or any suicide bombing inside Pakistan, Pakistan will give you a bitter taste of such misadventure. Be rest assured, test our resolve and capabilities, you wish so at your own peril and doom. These are not light words. This is coming from a defense minister of a nuclear power, of an air force which is paramount, dominant air force in the region. And even the Israelis are hesitant to even come in front of them. This is a 1 million strong army, and these people they should know what they be. This is coming from that defense minister. Khwaja Asif then said, let me assure them that Pakistan does not require to employ even a fraction of its full arsenal to completely obliterate the Taliban regime and push them back to the caves for hiding. If they wish so, the repeat of the scenes of the rout at Tora Bora with their tail between their legs would surely be a spectacle to watch for the people of the region. Now, in this case, what's very important, he said the region. The region is fed up with these guys. They've had enough. Their illogical minds is what's turning everybody completely off with these guys. They think, they think, I don't know what. They got a Napoleon syndrome. Napoleon syndrome is a very short man thinking he's about 500 feet tall. Anyway. Then he also said, there were threats from the Afghans, or we will teach a lesson to Pakistan and anybody else. And we have been doing the graveyard of the empire. Khwaja Asif had a very good say on that one. As far as the narrative of the graveyard of empires, Pakistan certainly doesn't claim it to be empire. Good, very good. But Afghanistan definitely is a graveyard, surely for its own people. A graveyard of empire, certainly playground of the empire you have been throughout history. So it is pretty strong. Now, Pakistan's field marshal has laid out what he thinks is the Pakistan strategy in this case. Now, I'm trying to get to one of the areas. Khwaja Asif, basically, you're getting to find out what exactly went on behind the scenes because we didn't want to spoil the whole atmosphere. Khwaja Asif also said on the failed talks, he says the Afghan Taliban had repeatedly sought negotiations with Pakistan through brotherly countries. Pakistan accepted the offer in interest of peace. He added some poisonous statements of Afghans suggested growing discord and duplicity within the Taliban leadership. So, as usual, treacherous elements sitting in Kabul, probably in the pay of the Indians. So that's what they're suggesting. Now, they may be also thinking with the Indians saber rattling on the other side, oh, Pakistan won't do anything. But I think we're going to get into the whole issues and start answering some of those questions. Pakistan wants no terrorism, no cross-border, dismantle the network, have it be verifiable, and the whole system in such a fashion that it can be verified that is happening. But if there's an attack or a bombing, the Afghans will find out very soon what that means, especially the Afghan Taliban. Okay. What Pakistan's basically agenda is dismantling of known TTP sanctuaries. Pakistan has given the evidence. Who they are, where they are, how many people they are, who's leading them. Just recently, we killed the number 2 guy of the TTP coming across the border with 4 of his other guys. They were gunned down, killed like dogs on the border. So there is no more tolerance left anymore. Okay. Now this is the guy, Habat, what? He just came across the border, they found him, shot him down like a dog, all 4 of them. So that's our recent, what we've done. Now that also says cross-border, this coming across the border, they killed them on the border. Or secondly, they are want to come up with TTP sanctuary district, arresting and expelling key figures, defining clear timelines. It's not going हम सोचेंगे, देखेंगे, करेंगे, वो क्या नहीं. और उसके बाद benchmarks for measurable action, such as raids, arrest, and destruction of safe houses. That's what they want. Not like the last time where we bombed a place where Nur Wali Muhammad was staying in a huge palatial, enjoying food, hospitality of the Afghan Taliban, and they bombed him. Of course, he's gone in hiding like a mouse now, and probably staying someplace. Anyway, so in this case, we have to answer some of the questions I'll start answering. Will there be a war? Considering the fact, I think the illogical Taliban think that we may not attack them, and heavily because of India standing at the back. Now let me preface that what we assess with the Indians. Indians basically, last time they got clobbered pretty bad, and their military situation has not improved. India was supposed to receive Netanyahu in December, so they are not going to do anything before December. Their entire procurement of BrahMos missiles and all the rest of the intelligence stuff, electronic warfare, is not coming in till about March, April timeframe. So they're not going to start something to get a real good thrashing again. So they will tempt it. They're sitting around Sur Creek, and they're going to do hokey pokey. They're going to play drying it. They think that they can intimidate Pakistan, which is not going to happen. So when the Taliban are going to play double game, I think they're going to try and elongate the process. We can't decide on. You can decide on one thing. TTP, no. Get rid of them, yes. It's not a big issue. So Pakistan is going to be dragged into a long-term discussion of what's going to be happening. So we're going to be very definitive about what needs to happen next. So they're not going to get a round of second round, third round, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And in the meantime, they keep coming across the border and hit Pakistanis and shed our blood. The same is also true for the BLA. Our Indian minister is in Iran. And it's not about getting them to get involved in this one. It's about them to stop the BLA crap. Okay. Now, we are telling them in time because they are next. The Iranians are next on the American radar. So we are probably laying the ground that in case the Iranians don't keep allowing cross-border attacks by BLA, who are being supported, we laid the groundwork for that also. So now we'll follow whether they're deadlocked or not. In case they're not deadlocked, we will do a podcast very quickly. Will India get involved? when Afghan Taliban are getting the ass beat? No. They will sit there and do what we call in Punjabi, Gidar Bhabkiyan. They're going to bray and make all noises but not do anything. To eliminate any confusion, the Field Marshal has stated in the tribal Chirga today, this evening, we will not tolerate any cross-border terrorism from Afghanistan. Okay, repeat. Pakistan will not allow cross-border terrorism to be perpetuated from Afghanistan. The army chief said that. Now, the next question becomes, all right, what are we going to do? The Pakistani military doctrine for both India and Afghanistan is the same as the army chief said. We are going to retaliate not in a proportionate form. We will retaliate disproportionately beyond the expectations, where you, the enemy, will regret even thinking about attacking. Now, in India's case, there'll probably be a missile strike about 500 and Air Force taking out the SAM, and our J-35s, sorry, we have not declared J-35 to become here, attacking their sites, and Modi running around in some bunker and sitting, becoming another Saddam Hussein. I'm sorry, I'm using that guy's name. So he's going to be another mouse. But they are not ready to take us on. But on the Afghan side, I mean, they will not be able to move on any road or anything. Secondly, most likely Pakistan will use a Scotch-Irish policy with these guys. Their wheat comes from Pakistan. Their rice comes from Pakistan. Their livelihood depends on Pakistan. We're going to put an end to it. They can go to the caves but starve. They can sit there and they will not have rice. And I don't know how long these Taliban can last on goat milk and cheese. So it's going to get really tough for them. And do I feel sorry for them? No. Now I think our host, Cher Bano, has joined us. And luckily this time she is joining us from Rawalpindi, where the internet is all okay. Cher Bano, all yours. I think your speaker is on mute.
All right, now can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. So you have talked about Kabul, that it has warned that it will retaliate to teach a lesson if Pakistan strikes again. How credible is this threat, given Pakistan's military capability and nuclear deterrence?
I think what these guys are talking about is a part of the Indian fifth generation warfare. They're basically acting as a proxy for the Indians. So typically in this case, what they're going to do is probably suicide bombing. They are not going to come openly to attack Pakistan. What they probably have some sleeper cells in Pakistan, and they will try to get those guys to activate those guys. And you know, there's a few million Afghanis inside Pakistan. So they will tend to do that. But I think Pakistan's response is going to be disproportionate. So if we lose about 100 people, you be sure that we're going to take out about 1,000 of those guys over there. If we have one funeral, they're going to be having 10 funerals. So the tea party is over. No more Kabuli Palau for them. I think they're going to be sitting around and try and make the best of goat milk, because that's the only thing they're good at. And I think they will learn a lesson. I think the last time they fought Punjabis some time ago, they got a taste where they shut up for almost 100 years. So let's see where it goes. And I see how long will they last a lesson. And here I'm going to share something with you. This is a racial map of Afghanistan. There are two races here. One is the Central Asian, and the other one is like you and me. We call it the Iranic. Okay, Turkmen, they're little on that side. Okay. Secondly, let me give you another map over here. What I'm trying to say here is Afghanistan is divided. Only 16% of its population is Pashtun. Now I'm going to give you what the Pashtun looks like. You can see the bottom side from Kabul all the way down to Kandahar, but the rest of the area overwhelmingly is non-Pashtun. So all this bull coming from the Afghan Taliban, we are united in Afghanistan. I think those Tajiks, those Turkmen, those Balochi, those Hazaras who they kill all the time, the Nuristani, the Pamiris, the Turkmen, they would be glad to get rid of these guys. There's no women's education. There'll be 20 million women in Afghanistan will be so happy to get rid of these idiots. So I think they're blustering. It's just like Modi, Hindu Maulvi. I think it's just a bunch of, and I think Pakistan's tolerance with Maulvis has been over after the biggest Maulvi, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has been over now. And I think the other guy wanted to come here and pay his respects, also was told not to. So Fazl Rahman has sat down too. Have I answered your question? Yes.
Yes, exactly. Now coming towards the talks in Istanbul, we have heard that they have collapsed with both sides trading threats. So is Pakistan and Afghanistan now on the brink of an open military confrontation?
I think they're giving a chance of those talks just one more time. I think we'll find out overnight whether that's the case or not. But it'll basically, what will trigger Pakistani response would be if they try a cross-border attack. We will use that definitely. Now, if they by chance do a suicide bombing, let's suppose in some crowded civilian area, and then deny responsibility, it's not going to work. We're going to go for their throat right away. So those days are gone. Non-proportionate, complete, overwhelming military response. That's what Pakistan is going to give both to these Johnnies and the other guys in India. No more nice guy. Finished. And the air chief said this for the Indians. This time you try it, we'll not shoot down 6 or 7. We'll shoot down 70 or 80 of the aircraft. Then we're going to wipe them out from the air. Anyway.
Nice. All right. Khwaja Asif have also accused India of waging a low-intensity war against Pakistan from Afghan soil. So is India using Afghanistan as a proxy front in this regional standoff?
Of course. Absolutely. And actually, they're on record, Ajit Doval, that they will do so. And they were there, and you can see the synchronization of talks from Indian defense officials coming. They are supportive of the Afghan. Oh, Pakistan is so bad. They actually threatened Afghanistan. I mean, how can they threaten Afghanistan? The great fighters, the great this and great that. So they're egging on the Afghan Taliban to get themselves clobbered by Pakistan, and then they don't care, they love to see Muslims getting killed. So, I mean, see how they treat their own Muslims. Yeah.
Exactly. So, with Pakistan juggling across cross-border tensions, internal terror threats, and regional rivalries, is this moment shaping up to be a turning point in its counter-terror and foreign policy strategy? What do you think about that?
I think it's changed. I think after the Indian defeat in the 4-day war, I think Pakistan has been thrust as a geostrategic pivot for both China and America. And I think thing which is expected out of it, you've got to do it. Like Indian goal, we are the pivot, we are the pivot. Saudis, we are the pivot, we are pivot. And then the Saudi went for the Yemen, man. India, Vance was sitting in Delhi and they tried to attack and they got clobbered, And the Americans decided to switch sides. Hey, we like Pakistan winning and we're going to sit with them. Bye-bye, Modi, And every day, Trump humiliates them. He says, I told Modi to stop it. And he went, oh, and I said, I'm going to put tariffs on you. Okay. Actually, that's not the real story. Actual story is he begged Trump to stop the fighting because his people were losing. They lost 500 dead, probably 5,000 to 10,000 wounded. And they couldn't stand those casualties. And their SAM sites were taken out. I actually had a chance to get directly from that gentleman who got SJ, who took out the SAM batteries and also where they stored the BrahMos missiles. So I would say pretty lethal armaments Pakistan Air Force has. Nothing to be scoffed about.
Okay. All right. So, despite the fiery statements, Turkey and Qatar are also pushing both sides to resume the dialogue. So, can regional mediators realistically prevent the escalation at this stage?
No, I don't think they can prevent, because Pakistan will ask for verifiable proof. And that the Taliban may or may not give. They may agree and then back out of it. So they're just going to get maybe a 3 or 4 days time frame. And that's only going to last till they do a cross-border attack, and then Pakistan is going to go for it. And you have to listen to your brotherly countries like Turkey especially, because they helped us in their war with India, and they always help us. So if they're asking for something to prevent shed Muslim blood, I think we should listen to them. And Qatar is also, most of the Qatar's defense systems are Pakistani run. So I think we should listen to them. But I think they're going to get fed up, and then they're just going to go, okay. But what's going to happen is Afghanistan is going to be isolated completely in the region.
Definitely.
And that's not going to go well.
All right. So thanks for answering my questions and shedding the light on that. That wraps up our today's discussion. So, and thanks for having me as well.
Thank you, Chef Bano, and pleasure always. Goodbye. And thank you, Nazreen, and thank you, viewers. Thank you, subscribers. Goodbye.
Goodbye.